Yeah, so I'm here with Esther and Kimberly, and we're talking about our role as the climate storytellers in the Sustainable World Game Show that's coming out in March and April, late March. We start on the 22nd. And so the young people are actually, it's young people and two elders, Jim Gray Wolf Truzzi and me, are kind of the co-hosts with the two young people, possibly more. And so there we are creating the whole show, which should be an hour. And within that, we want to have the children's story that's being acted out on a game board and in a gnome garden in these little girls' backyard. And then we have the youth part, which will include some games and activities calling for people to submit artwork and writing and things that we can incorporate into our story. And then the adults were doing the people from our climate conversation to action program. And you guys are both involved in that, right?
Yes.
And
So I
so,
see, so things are starting to get busy now.
yeah, it's happening. It's happening. And so I can see you guys helping there with the adult piece for, that really is helping people to see that if we're each responsible, and we are,
Yes.
if we accept our responsibility, we will do whatever we can to whatever it takes. I just got a song called Whatever It Takes. Um, to get this climate conversation into the community. If you have a church or faith group, if you have a school that you volunteer in or teach in, if you have a business that you work at. So it's the adults who are actively involved in their community. Take it where you go already,
Yes.
where you're already active, and start the climate conversation in some way in there. And then once we get people engaged, and the game show is designed to engage all ages in this process, then we can start sharing probably in September the different resources that we have that will help to systematize this whole thing so that it's climate education and action resources. So that's kind of the idea. So it's a sequential thing. April, I keep putting it in terms of a quilt. We right now we've got all the patches. In
Mm-hmm.
April, basting it together so you can begin to see. September, it's going to be pretty well stitched. So when we go through 11 days of global unity, we'll have this practice of how to do this show, and we'll be able to do a much better job in September. And then
Yeah.
in January of next year, we want to have this community-wide World House Climate Justice Conversation to Action program. And so this is where we draw in all the Martin Luther King resources that we can. And I'm working in the local community here to do that. And we have the Martin Luther King Commission of Florida. And so I'm looking at coordinating with them and with the interfaith community in our part of Florida to kind of prototype this thing and engage people in other um, counties that the Sustainable Floridians program is already active in. So that hopefully we can begin to see it by next January actually being a community-wide climate conversation to action program that will have some meat on its bones. So it's all very exciting. And
Yep. So your plan is coming to fruition. Fruition.
it is blossoming and getting ready to put out some seeds, I think.
Yes.
It's really a thrill to see this. And I just wrote to my Baha'i assembly saying that, when I came to Gainesville 30 years ago, this is actually, it's been 35 now. This is what I envisioned, but I had no idea in the world how I would do it. And I still don't, but it's happening. And so it's just really an amazing feeling to see it happening like this. And I thank you guys for being part of it.
Thank you. Where are you originally from?
Well, I was born in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Wow.
And my dad, I mentioned earlier, was with Standard Oil. And we just bounced around and moved about every 2 years. And
Oh, yeah.
our home bases were probably New Jersey and Miami. And we went and lived several places in Latin America. And so it's been a busy life. And actually, what I said when I was growing up is, when I get married and have children, I'm not going to move them around. I'm going to stay put. And I basically did. I only moved once. And so my girls now are on the move all the time. And they, in fact, are part of all three of them are homeschooling their children as part of a world school. And so they travel and meet with people and have school wherever they are. And it's really quite wonderful.
Yeah.
My oldest is heading down to Mexico for a couple of months to be with some of the world schoolers there.
So
So
global citizens.
they are indeed, no doubt about that.
Nice.
Okay, so the idea is we've got our little climate storytelling workshop, and I think that last one where we had one newcomer worked very
Yes.
well. What did you think
Yes.
about
I thought he was wonderful.
that? Mm-hmm,
The guy from Maryland, right?
mm-hmm.
Yes.
And so that worked pretty well to just welcome him in, tell some stories, write a new story, tell about it. I did
Yeah.
not get anything from him from that, but that's just, you may or you may not get the written stories, but the process is really important.
Maybe he's thinking about it.
Maybe so. Maybe I
You know,
could
to put it.
find it. Yeah. So yeah. So I'll stop talking and let you guys express any whatever you feel moved.
So this is going to start this March 20th to April 20th, this climate.
It's
And I guess,
Earth Month.
oh, it's a month.
Hmm.
And so I guess each one of us will be telling our story.
Well, what I'd like to do is record some today that we could just
Oh,
do the recording and
oh, okay.
insert it into their show. It's not like you have to be there for the show every time. I'd like to
Oh,
just record a bunch of the stories. And my thought was that, we've written some, but I really liked it when you guys just told your story, not reading it, but just telling it. Is that,
so they can hear our voice.
yeah, and just feel like you're talking to them instead of
Oh, okay.
reading something, you know? How do you feel about that? Does that feel comfortable to you?
Yeah, I can,
I'd
maybe I
have to
can,
review it.
Yeah, well, of course, you can just, do whatever you need to do to get ready, and then we'll just say, ready, set, go, and you
are these the stories that we wrote in the climate,
in the
like
workshop.
the South,
Yeah,
like the Southwest, my story, or the
Yes.
Kern County?
yes, those stories.
I can choose one of them.
Well, and you could do more than one
Oh, okay.
because we're going to have 6 different shows, and it would be nice to have at least one story from our group on each of those shows.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah,
So
I guess, how many minutes are we talking about? I mean, you want us to
a,
record?
a minute, I
Oh,
would
oh,
say
because, oh, okay.
no more than 3 minutes of story. It would
Yeah,
just,
because it's going to be other people
Yeah.
And so it's in a time frame, yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like it's a little advertisement. Here's something from
Oh,
our
okay.
climate. Here's something from our climate, crafting my climate story workshop. Here's something that came up, you know.
Yes,
This is what we mean when we invite you to a crafting my climate story workshop.
yes.
That's kind of the way we're doing it. It's like an advertisement for this workshop. And why don't we talk about, Esther, you said that you didn't know if you could commit to every week, and I'm thinking you don't need to.
Okay.
That it's just, we will, I feel the need to, because things are happening so fast, it just felt like I need to talk to my ladies today.
Okay.
And, but, you know, whoever can come, and that's fine.
Especially, I guess you want to prepare March 20th coming up.
It's-
It's best to do a rehearsal. So
Well-
things get messed up or something.
Yeah, so what I'd like to do is just see if each of you would be willing to record one story today, maybe
Okay.
two. You've written more than one, haven't you, Esther? Of course you have.
I have. I'm looking at the co-op one, but it might be more than a minute.
Well, you just, you know, I would say up to 3 minutes. I don't want them to be long.
Okay.
A minute
Okay,
or two is ideal.
I can do that. Yeah. I don't think it'll be 2 minutes, but it might be a minute and a half.
Okay. Good. So I gave myself a haircut and I see it's kind of funny.
Nice. Well, when I cut my own hair for the first time, my friend said, "Do you know the difference between a good and a bad haircut?" I said, "What?" She said, "About 2 weeks." Okay. So now I cut it. Now I cut it all the time.
Yeah, yeah. Ah. So,
So
Miss Esther, I mean, Kimberly, are you looking at your story? Is that what you're
Oh,
looking?
yeah, I guess I should pull it up, huh? Or I could just say it by memory.
Yeah, that's all I need you to do.
Yeah, so because I could just say it by memory.
Okay, so what
let
I'm
me
gonna do, who would like to go first?
Well, I guess you I guess I'd be the guinea pig.
Okay, so let me,
I'm gonna talk about 1 minute to Southwest.
okay.
good
And
choice.
can you tilt your camera so it's a little more on you?
Oh, okay.
See, we got a lot.
my can
Yeah,
you
just
mean
kind of frame yourself. And in fact, well, now I don't see you at all. There you are.
like this?
Yeah, that's good. And can you bring it up a little higher? Are you on a cell phone? What are you doing there?
I'm on a laptop.
On a laptop. Okay. I'm just thinking it looks like it's looking up at your chin instead of
Well, how about now?
to your
Yeah.
face. Yeah, that's good.
That's better.
Perfect. Okay. All right. So let me
And do I have to introduce myself? I'm Kimberly.
Let's think, how do we want to do this? Do you want me to introduce you or probably just you? We'll you'll see us up on the top of this recording because I don't know how to disappear us and it's just you. But let me stop recording here.